Hi guys, happy Thursday to you. Also, happy National Lemonade Day. Now, in honor of that, we're gonna make a raspberry lemonade bar, okay? This is a simple recipe, really quick, really simple. You can get the kids involved with this one. So basically I have 8 tablespoons of butter at room temperature, which is basically a stick of butter at room temperature. What I'm putting in is 3/4 cups of sugar, have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's why you see that little pink there, that's our salt. Now I'm gonna get everything in because we could break out a mixer, but for this recipe, we can just put everything right on in. We're gonna go ahead, crack a couple of eggs in here. And by getting everything in, this will really make it easier to mix, and you will see how we don't need that mixer for that. Let me just rinse these fingers off from those eggs. Now, I have zested a lemon, okay? And I basically zested half the lemon, and I squeezed the juice from that half the lemon. That's what this is. And I tell you what, gang, lemonade, I don't know if you all remember or grew up with grandmother making fresh lemonade. Oh, if you've never made lemonade from scratch, that's something that you have to do. It's a must. So here, you notice I'm using a wooden spoon. Because I'm not using the mixer, I'm just gonna kind of use the back of the spoon to kind of spread that butter down, kind of mash that butter down, get it mixed in with that sugar. And just give it a quick whisk, or I should say a quick whip, all right? Because that's all we need. We just want this to kind of get mixed in because we're gonna put flour in here. And these butter chunks, as it bakes, it's just gonna put that little butter flavor throughout the entire mixture. Now, what we have here, 3/4 cups of flour. So just like the sugar, 3/4 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of flour. And we just need to put our flour in, and we just wanna get this totally mixed, okay? And what's nice about doing something like this in a glass bowl is that you can always pick up and look at the bottom to make sure you're getting that bottom mixed in. See, it looks like it's not gonna come together, but it is. It's gonna come together really, really nice. See, make sure you get the sides of the bowl. And this is what I was talking about. Make sure you get the bottom so you don't see any really white, dry streaks where the flour would be, because we've got that mixed in. And then you could, look, see when we swipe the bottom of the bowl, you can see that there's nothing down there, okay? Now, I have a cup of raspberries. So we're gonna get our raspberries in. And now with the raspberries, we don't want to break them up. We're just gonna give them a nice, just kind of fold them into the batter. I have the oven preheating 350 degrees. And our pan, I'm just using a little 8x8 pan. And all I've done with our pan, I sprayed our pan with a little spray, okay? So now just take your batter, just put it on in. And this is why I like to use a spatula for this, because I can make sure I don't leave any in this bowl. Who wants to leave any of this goodness behind? All right, so now let's just kind of smooth this out. And you can see it's not going to be very high. All right, just give it a little smooth like that. And get our spoon and just make sure we get that little excess off of there. All right, we don't want to lose any of this. Now, one of the things about this is the fact that we don't want to overcook this, okay? It's the edges will just barely get a little brown. What's gonna happen, it's almost like when you bake brownies, how they're a little soft in the middle. That's what's gonna happen with this. Now, depending on your oven, how your oven is, this could go for 25 minutes or it could go for 35 minutes. So at 25, start checking it. Here in my oven, I have to leave it in for about 35 minutes. So it just depends, but check your oven just to make sure, all right? So we put that in. Now, when it comes out and it's ready, make sure you go ahead and put it on a wire rack and let it cool, all right? Now, with this one, with this recipe, make sure you let it cool all the way. because we're going to make a glaze for the top of it, okay? So this is, look how simple this is. What we have, a cup of powdered sugar. And you remember that other half of that lemon? Here is the other half of that lemon zest, the other half of the juice from the lemon, and I have a tablespoon of raspberry preserve. You can use a jam or preserve. And this is going to make a nice glaze for this. Now, you know, if you've ever worked with powdered sugar, you don't need a whole lot of liquid. This little bit of liquid, if I'm careful not to get it all over the counter and all over the floor and all over myself, and, you know, don't want Monica coated with powdered sugar, you're going to see how I'm using this whisk, but it'll come together just. All right, let me bring it over here and kind of whip together a little bit. It's all caught up in the whisk. Yeah, that happens a little bit. You know, it's funny how, you know, I guess I had the lemon not cut evenly because when I made some earlier, I had enough lemon juice to go ahead and smooth this out. What I'm going to do here, gang, I'm going to take another lemon, add a little more lemon juice to this, just to give it a little bit more moisture. We don't need much, just a little bit more moisture. But you can see the direction we were headed with this, okay? Now, let me show you what it looks like when it's all done. Here, that's how it looks. You can see that icing. And you know, I'll show you in this bowl. See that icing is nice and it's loose. It's still thick, but depending on how thick or thin you want it, depending on how much lemon juice you put in it. So this one, I'm gonna have to add just a touch more lemon juice to it, but you wanna make sure your cake totally cools. I should say it totally cools, so that way the icing stays on top and doesn't melt. So now we can cut this into bars, and there we have our nice raspberry lemonade bar. Decorated with some raspberries. You can throw some whipped cream on it. If you want, throw a little scoop of vanilla ice cream with it. I always get that look from Monica anytime I say throw some ice cream on it. She gives it that little, really? Yes, really. So I hope this is a nice, simple, quick recipe. I think the kids are gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Keep washing those hands, keep masking up, keep doing what you're doing by staying safe. I thank you for cooking with me. I'm Chef Kevin Belton for WWL. Have yourself a fantastic afternoon. We'll see you soon.